Welcome, welcome to Living and Loving Each Day, Bridging Barriers. I'm so glad that you tuned in with us today. My name is Susan Jansen, and I'm just excited to be here. I've got a beautiful guest I want to share with you about her. She is Billie Aadmi. And on this podcast is a place where we explore stories of resilience, connection, and we just want to celebrate individuals and communities that work to overcome challenges and overcome barriers. So let me tell you a little bit about Billie. Billie embodies the spirit of perseverance and of purpose. And I have to read this because I always want to make sure I don't forget anything, because this is really important to me to set her up for you. And then she'll tell you more about her in a minute. So Billie is a single mom to two beautiful children and a fur baby. And she has a Bachelor of Education and a Bachelor of Human Kinetics. Is that correct? That's how you say that? Yes.
Kinetics, yeah.
She's been a police officer since 2005 and is an active real estate investor. So police officer, investor, and I'm a singer and a real estate agent. So we kind of collaborated here. So she's also a trainer in NLP, a master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming and timeline therapy. We're going to talk about that today, and hypnotherapy, as well as master's results. She's a master results coach and master teacher of magnified healing. Billie, I can't wait to hear more about that too. She is the CEO and founder of Go Mindspire and prides herself in the hustle coach, she's called. I love that. And serving others to uplevel their mindset for lifelong success. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I just want to thank you so much for joining us here today, and welcome to my beautiful guest, Billie. Hi.
Thank you for having me, Susan. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit more about you. I kind of gave a little snippet, but I want you to just kind of give people an idea of, what you are and where you come from and what drives you, your passion.
I mean, how much time do we have, really? Because
I know. It's like, where do we start, right? When people ask me,
I'll give you the Coles Notes version.
Okay.
So I grew up in a very traditional East Indian family. And, growing up with two brothers in our culture, women are treated very differently from men. And so I was brought up hearing a lot that I couldn't do stuff because I was a girl. And I think what happened is that programming that got put in was, okay, well, I better prove my worth. I better show them that I am worthy of doing anything that men can do. And so now that I look back on my life, I'm like, I was doing all these things that the boys did. I rode motorcycles, I snowboarded, I became a police officer, one of the boys, the boys club. And I started doing all these things to almost prove to the world that I am capable of doing anything that a man can do. And in that process, I realized how resilient and strong I am. Mm-hmm. And now looking back, everything that has happened is meant to happen because it needed those lessons that I learned needed to be learned in order for me to do the work that I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. And being a police officer for the last 20 years showed me, I'm 5'2", I'm not very big, that I could go out there and do what I needed to do, and that violence is not the thing. And, I call it verbal judo. I was able to manage everything in my life just through my words. Wow. And it created so many beautiful lessons for me and allowed me now to hold space for people to heal trauma as opposed to dealing with their trauma, because that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. Yeah. And so now some of these modalities that I now train and we actually certify practitioners and coaches is because it changed my world completely last year. Long story short, I met a hypnotherapist. Yeah. And I was doing some health coaching, a little side business on the side, because my marriage had fallen apart during the, right before the pandemic happened. And, everybody was going through stuff during the pandemic. Yeah. For me, it was actually a blessing in disguise because my FOMO got to rest and I wasn't going to miss anything. And I was able to just heal and really kind of focus on what happened? How did my life get here? How did, I did all the right things. I went to school, I got married, I had kids, and I had the job. And why was I still miserable? And why did it seem that everything was falling apart around me? And then all the things started showing up. And when you finally surrender to the universe and just ask for that wisdom that's already there, it's nowhere else except inside. And that's what we call about doing that inner deep work, is getting back in touch with who you are. The resources started coming. And as I was doing this health coaching, I met a hypnotherapist and I said, hey, like I've seen how people's mindsets are off about their health. Can you come and just do some work with them? And she did. And she's like, you know what, Billy, I'll give you a session. And I had never, my idea of hypnotherapy was the stage shows, right? That's all I kind of knew about hypnotherapy. It was entertainment. I didn't think it was therapy. And I could not believe how powerful that one session was, how different I felt. And I just asked her, I was like, what happened? What did you do? And she's like, well, I just tapped into your unconscious mind. I'm like, what does that mean? I didn't even know what that meant. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean unconscious? She's like, well, it's the 90% of your brain. And, we went deep into, where those deep rooted trauma was. And I just got so just absolutely enthralled and just like insatiable about learning about it. And of course, one thing led to another. I found this 8-day course that got my 4 designations in NLP practitioner, timeline therapy practitioner, hypnotherapist, and then NLP results coach in 8 days. And I was still working full time, still being a single mom. And I thought, okay, I could do this. And as I started learning about it, I was like, I got to teach people this. This is why I went to school to be a teacher. Now I know. Because
Yeah,
I wasn't.
got your BEd. You've got your BEd. Yes. Yeah,
I
of
wanted
course.
to be a physical education teacher. That's why I did human kinetics and education. And I didn't like the public school system. I taught some police courses and it was fun, except, the core of me, like I love teaching. And I was like, oh, this is what I meant to teach because it comes so naturally for me. And it's just proof that once you tap into your gifts and your own inner wisdom, life starts flowing. And what has happened in this last year, when I started this work last June, my life has completely turned. I can now retire from policing because I didn't want to do that job since I had children because, there's an element of danger there. Within 6 months, I won this Freedom Fighter Award, which means I've become financially free, being able to just look at my portfolio, shift some things around, get out of my own way, because that's all it is, got out of my own way, shifts my way of thinking. And now I'm able to stay home, have passive income, and now do this work from a place of service. And it has shifted so many lives. Like, I mean, I'll tell you, Sue, in 20 years of policing, I have never once said someone said to me, Billy, you changed my life. Not that I did it for that.
Yeah.
However, in this year and a bit that I've been doing this work, actually, we officially started this January. I've had so many people tell me, Billy, this work has changed my life. And it's because they have gotten over their own stuff. I haven't done anything. I have just led them to their resources and their wisdom, because sometimes we can't see what's out of our awareness. And we just need someone to kind of shine a light in that darkness that people have, and they can come out of it and their life can literally be the dream reality that they want. And that's, I'm proud to say and honored that I am living my dream life, and I'm still a single mom, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm obviously calling in a partner now, and I'm just, life is just flowing, and the impact that I'm creating is living my dream, my purpose, my mission. And I can be happier.
Oh, that is amazing. Well, good for you. Congratulations, because you did that, not contractional. And a lot of us suffer through that, not being aware of what we're thinking and why we're feeling that we are, and being, and the other part of that is being expansive, where you're open to things and what's going on, and having that control is one, and that insight. I love the gifts that you share, that you can help people do that. That's amazing. Thank you. So that's great. So tell me a little bit more about the timeline therapy. So that's what it's called?
So what a gift this timeline therapy is. I know when I first was going to do this training, I was like, yeah, I know what NLP is because, I follow Tony Robbins and I know that's what he does. And hypnotherapy, everybody kind of has an idea of hypnotherapy. And I wanted to become an actual results coach. For me, having legitimacy and being part of boards where there's standards and ethics was really important for me when I'm going to be helping people. And so I thought, okay, cool. I could get 4 designations in 8 days. The timeline therapy had no idea what it was. Oh my God. Have I known what timeline therapy is? Okay, let me just put it to you this way. You can heal trauma without talking about it. And that for me, I mean, we see trauma all day, every day for 20 years, seeing trauma, having my own childhood trauma to deal with. As police officers, we are mandated to go to therapy, right? It's one of our things, just because, what are the things that we have to endure. And I always felt worse when I left therapy. I was like, why do I feel worse? It's supposed to help me. And now I know why. And it's because when you talk about the trauma, You're actually deepening that neurology and you're actually physiologically going through it again, which is why I always felt like I got hit by a train when I left the therapist. Not to knock therapy. Therapy is amazing for awareness. However, it does not change anything, nor does it heal anything.
Mhm.
What timeline therapy does is it goes back to the root cause. The first time you ever felt fear, the first time you ever felt sadness or guilt or rage or shame or hurt, anger, all those seven top negative emotions.
Yeah.
And it goes to the root cause and it clears it by uploading the learnings. Because every traumatic event that we go through, we are meant to learn lessons. And what
Yes.
happens is when we are in the trauma, our unconscious mind's number one job is to keep us safe, to preserve the body. And so what it does is it represses those emotions because it knows I got to keep her safe right now. We can't deal with this. Which
Yes.
is why soldiers out in the field can do what they do. And then when they come back, that's when they get PTSD. Because now what's happening is the unconscious mind is presenting these emotions to people and these memories so vividly because it's trying to rationalize the irrational thing that happened.
Mhm.
It already
Mhm.
knows. So we don't need to talk about it again. All that needs to happen is upload what were those positive learnings, and they're always positive in that I am safe, I am healthy, I am protected, whatever it is, I am worthy, I am powerful. Once those learnings can be uploaded, it can release it. And now you have created this space for now the resources in the universe to bring you some more learnings and healing and resources to actually help you move forward. It helps us get unstuck because
Yeah.
a lot of times people are stuck in their trauma, they're stuck in their emotions, those limiting beliefs that have been a result of those unresolved emotions.
Yeah, and they don't know how to get out. Like they're not aware. They want to, and they wish
Exactly.
they could, but it's like, I don't know how to do that.
It's not their fault. They don't
Yeah.
know because it's out of their awareness. And this is what's so powerful about this work is it brings it to their awareness because it's in their unconscious. And these core, we have as humanity, we share four core limiting wounds and they limiting beliefs. They are unworthy, unlovable, powerless, and not good enough.
Mm.
And all of us have one or a combination of those that relate to everything else that we believe is stopping us from moving forward. So if we can pull the root and everything, imagine like everything is connected to that root. If we can pull the root out, the rest of it all unravels, which is why this work is so powerful and it's so quick.
Yeah.
And yet it's so gentle because we don't actually have to talk about the trauma. And when
Mm.
I learned that and I experienced the shifts and I've done it enough times now and I've taught it enough times now that I've seen how quiet it gets up here for people. It just
Mhm.
becomes quiet. And that is so unfamiliar to many of us because our thoughts just run our mind. It's
Mm.
kind of like, I use the analogy of a snow globe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I got a snow globe and I was trying to figure out the instructions on how to open it up and I couldn't because it was too much. And so if you just let it calm and let all those thoughts just slow down, the message is clear.
Ah, get out of your own way. It's backwards for me, but yes.
You
Yeah.
grab backwards. Yeah. Get out of your own way. And that's all we need to do is quiet the mind so that the answers and that wisdom comes out because it's already there. People are,
Mhm.
people are like, oh, I need to go to this workshop or I need to go talk to this person or I need this. The wisdom comes from nobody.
Yeah.
It's
It's
all,
all.
it is just a matter of someone can help guide you to that wisdom and help you just calm those thoughts down. And that's what we
Mhm.
do with this work. And it is so rewarding and so
I
fulfilling
love
to see the transformations in people literally right before my eyes.
Oh, good for you. And because it is everything is inside, and it's getting it. That's what coaching too. I love about coaching is that you can help, like you said, shine a light and ask the right questions so people go, oh, and then they think that you're so smart or that there's but you've got to give them the credit, just like you said in your intro, like you just shining a light so that they can see better, and
Yeah.
see it
Right.
clearer.
Yeah. What
So
we in our work is we are just helping people find their path back to their own magnificence because we all have it.
we are. And tell me does it take long? Like how long is that process, that trauma or releasing that trauma?
Time-
Is there,
Yeah, the timeline therapy session takes an hour.
and that's it. Like you don't have to go back to you every week for, for 2 years.
Well, no. So what we do and what we train coaches to do is what we call a breakthrough because we're literally breaking through this level of neurology into our next level of evolution, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
And that whole process takes depending on if you're a practitioner, it's about 8 to 10. Once you get to master practitioner, you get more of the advanced techniques. It takes about 10 to 12 hours, the entire process. We do a very detailed personal assessment, and then we do the timeline therapy, which sometimes can be 2 hours at the first time, just because the unconscious mind is getting a little bit used to it. It goes faster and faster. And then we use the neurolinguistic programming to figure out what strategies and programs are running that we can deprogram and rewire to actually serve you better. And then we use the hypnotherapy at the end for future goal setting. Because when people come and say, hey, I want to do some hypnotherapy, put some suggestions, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to waste those beautiful suggestions and plant that beautiful flower in soil that won't keep it healthy. So first we got to remediate the soil and make sure it's healthy, which is why we work with the past first, then we deal with the present, and then we work with the future. So it's the entire process. Now
It's
that time,
yeah, it's holistic, isn't it? It's also different modalities. I love that you're incorporating,
it's in a very
more.
specific way because we work on the entire system. We're not just picking little pieces, because if we do, then the other system will still make it not work. The timeline therapy portion is we release the top 7 negative emotions, and that is anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, rage, and shame, in that order. And then from there, we extract, there's a theme of what is the main limiting decisions that are coming out from these learnings. And those 4 that I talked about, unworthy, unlovable, powerless, and not good enough, there's usually 1 or 2, sometimes 3, a combination of those, and we pull those. And as practitioners, we recommend that people do these, what we call quantum tune-ups, every month, because life's going to happen. And this is not just in this lifetime. We go past lives and we go past generations. And now as a practitioner, I do my cleanup every month. I've gone back as far as 23 generations.
Wow.
We carry it, right? If we don't heal our trauma in this lifetime, guess what? Our kids get it. And then if they don't heal it, guess what? Their kids get it. And it's passed down generationally. And that's why when we heal it from the past, we're also healing it for the future.
Wow.
And this, for me as a mom, and I know lots of parents take these courses just to become better parents so that they don't have to put their crap, for better lack of a better word, onto their kids. And it's made me a better mother. And now even my children, I teach them these tools and techniques. And my 7-year-old knows how to manage her state. I do hypnotherapy and I put the suggestions in them because as children, my kids are 7 and 9, they are 100% unconscious. So now the programming that I'm putting in is that you are amazing, you're magnificent, you're able to do anything that you want to put your mind to, as opposed to you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not worthy, all these things that we don't consciously do. Yeah. Obviously, no parent wants to consciously put that programming in. It's just we are only operating at the ability that we have in our brains. So if we can those, like we're always updating our computers and our phones. It's
always.
Like, oh, here, this is the biggest computer we have. Let's update programming. And that's what we do. It's literally update your software.
Yeah, exactly. So what does that take? Like, is that just like a 1 session thing that you're saying, well, you do that every month or so? Like, what does that look like?
So this is another reason why I always, as much as I love working one-on-one with people, I always say, you know what, take the course. For 1, it's cheaper. And for 2, you get the designations. I call these life skills. To me, it's like swimming. It's not, you don't need it every day, but it'll save your life when you need it. That's how I think about it. When you take the course, we have a community that we've built of other practitioners that now they just do swaps. So now you have lifetime access and you never have to pay for it again. Yeah. And they just, our community is amazing and they're there to support each other because community is really important in this type of work. Just keep your vibration high. And, they'll just say, hey, I'm up for my monthly tune-up. Anybody want to do a swap? And it just takes an hour and you swap and, and it just keeps everybody just growing and evolving and flourishing. And it's so beautiful to watch, Susan. It really is.
That is so exciting. That's like, and just hearing you speak about it, you can tell, it's uplifting and it's just, everything's expanded and you're open to things and you can help others get to that same place.
Well, that's yourself, right? And when you heal yourself, guess what? The people around you are affected.
Yeah.
And then those people are affected. And it's like that little ripple effect. And if there's more of these little drops in the ocean, the ripple that comes out to the world, which is why we created our academy called Amplify Impact Academy, because we don't want to just heal ourselves. We want to heal the world. And there's a lot of healing that needs to happen right now. The polarization and the division that's out there. What the line of thinking that we have is that, everybody is doing the best they can with the resources they have in this moment. Of course. Unfortunately, a lot of people are just, they're asleep. they're in their lane, they have their blinders on, and they're asleep to their magnificence. They've forgotten who they are. And it's our job to wake them up.
To woke. Yeah, I've heard that. I'm woke.
Awakening comes from, right? People are waking up to who they truly are. That's what happened to me in these last year and a bit. I woke up to realize this is actually who I'm meant to be. It's not the person that I thought, we call it victim island. A lot of us are living on victim island. I was parked there really hard. And now we're like, you know what? Well, how about we teach you how to get to Solution City? Because that's where your personal power is. That's where you're standing and life is happening for you as opposed to you.
Exactly.
Look at the problems that happen in life and say, how is this happening for me? What lessons am I meant to learn here? And it allows you to just not get caught up in the story of what's happening.
Exactly. And in my coursework, I call it not being a victim, but a victor, where you have the power to do that. And it's all inside of you. And it's just making those steps to find that. And to, like you said, just to be like you and just enlighten people and help them, see that light in themselves.
Well, they're just little shifts, right? They're little insights that people get. And when you get that little insight, or what we call like an aha, that is like an organic alignment of your conscious, your unconscious mind that now brings you access to your higher self, where the resources are. And those little simple insights can literally change the trajectory of somebody's life. Literally. That little simple thing. And it's all has to do with the thought process.
Yes. It's all in our mind. It's all in our mind. So how we think and how we feel and the thoughts. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. It comes down to thoughts, right? Our thoughts create our reality. So if you don't like your reality, check your thoughts.
Yeah. And our
grows. You focus on grows. It's the whole law of attraction. What are you putting out there? That's what you are bringing back.
Exactly. Well, that's wonderful what you're doing, Billie. I love you're doing so many cool things. A lot of them touch, it resonates with me, a lot of those things that you've gone through already, the single parent and all the trauma, the childhood trauma, all that stuff. So I feel like, that's why I really wanted to have you on the podcast today, just to make this connection again and to share you with everybody. This is my intention. And so just before we go, can you just share I'm going to have your website. Like, do you have you have a beautiful website? I saw it. I'm going to put your website on the description so people can find you, and anything else that you just want to close with, that you either want to share this amazing or that's upcoming for you that you'd like us to know about.
Yeah, I mean, we have what my training partner and I, Melissa, decided to do was create one big program, because we were doing all these little workshops and webinars and all these things, and we thought, you know what, how can we best equip people to really, not just for themselves, but really go out there and make an impact? So what we did is we put it all together and we created one big program, which we call the Master Amplify Results Coaching Program. And not necessarily to become a coach or a practitioner. Mind you, if a lot of people are wanting to leave their 9-to-5s because they're not happy and they want to have more impact in the world, so they can do that with this work. It's not very expensive. We've put it together so that it's more cost effective. And we want people to really, within 90 days, which is spread out through 90 days, to be able to literally launch their business or launch their new career or get out of their own way and just move towards their magnificence. And that's starting in January. And we're really proud of it. And we are wanting to just, again, amplify impact, which we just launched our academy this year. And we're wanting people to really understand that they don't know what they don't know. And all we can say is give yourself that gift of finding out who you are. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be emotional. And it doesn't have to take a long time. Yeah. It literally can happen in a few weeks, in a few months. The techniques themselves are instant. Once you create that new neural pathway, it's there. Yeah. Once you raise your consciousness level, you don't go back down. Yeah. It's there. And so even one little shift can literally change people's lives. And if we don't need this more than now, this is the time that we are asking people, just listen to that little voice. What if there was more? What if there was a better way? What if there was more peace? What if there was more love? What if there was more light? What if you were living your dream? Because I didn't know it was possible. There was a point where I'm like, I've done it all. I've done therapy. I've done meditation. I've done yoga. I've done all these workshops, and none of it was shifting because it wasn't going into the unconscious. A majority of people don't work with the unconscious mind, and this is what's different with this work than anything else I've ever experienced. And so
Wow.
give it a chance. You have literally nothing to lose, and the only thing to gain is a little bit more towards your path to your magnificence, as we call it.
Oh, so just say your website one more time. I want you to verbalize it too as well.
Yeah,
Your
it's
website.
www.gomindspire.com, and then our academy is amplifyimpactacademy.com as well. And I'm
Perfect.
on all the socials. I'm on Instagram as
Oh,
go.mindspire. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. Pretty much anywhere you can find me.
we'll find you, Billie. No problem. So everybody, thank you so much for being with us today. And don't be afraid to find out really good things, because you're amazing inside already. And so don't worry or be afraid to make that step to find out more about yourself, because we know that everyone's doing their best and that they're really, magnificent in themselves. So Billie, thank you for shining a light on that for us today. Thank you so much for being here. I love everything you're doing. Really appreciate you so much. And everybody, thank you so much for being here today at Living and Loving Each Day, Bridging Barriers. We got this. We got this.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.